Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. That is part of the 23rd Psalm. I want you to realize that I believe Jesus Christ knew the 23rd Psalm, and I think it actually echoed in his head when he was going through his passion in the Garden of Gethsemane, just prior to being apprehended by the Roman soldiers that were being led by Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 disciples of Jesus. Jesus was under extreme physical and emotional stress in the Garden of Gethsemane. In Matthew 26:37, Jesus was sorrowful and deeply distressed, Matthew writes. Mark records something similar in that he was troubled and deeply distressed, Mark 14:33. Jesus also told Peter, James, and John, "My soul is extremely sorrowful, even unto death," in Matthew 26:38, Mark 14:34, when he was experiencing such great sorrow and stress that he felt like he was on the point of death. He told Peter, James, and John to sit up and pray with him while he went a short distance away so that he could pray. And this is what he prayed, found in Luke 22, verses 41 to 44. And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's throw, and he knelt down and prayed, saying, "Father, if it is your will, take this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." Then an angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him, and being in agony, he prayed more earnestly. Then his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground. Jesus Christ of Nazareth was the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. He was anticipating what he was about to go through. The heaviest load that he had to bear was the separation between him and his Father, when every sin that was ever committed and will ever be committed was placed upon him, so that he was an atonement for sin, so that sin would no longer have the death sentence bestowed upon the children of the Most High God, that they were free to live in God's presence eternally as a result of the sacrifice of God's own Son. Imagine the weight and the responsibility in knowing every aspect, every intricate detail of what was about to take place in your life, and that you are going to be suffering through some level of agony that can't even be described or even understood, because it was the highest amount of torture that could ever be delivered to an individual, because it was being delivered deliberately through Satan himself to dissuade Jesus Christ from going through this particular process so that men could be saved. Jesus was praying to his Father to give him strength, to help him to endure the events that were about to take place. God actually sent an angel to his side to help him to go through this event that he was experiencing with a level of stress beyond human comprehension. The medical field has put a name on this condition, and it's called hematohidrosis. It is a condition in which capillary blood vessels that feed the sweat glands rupture, causing them to exude blood, occurring under conditions of extreme physical or emotional stress. Jesus was sweating so profusely that it was as if he were sweating great drops of blood. Jesus was facing his own nervous system's fight or flight response, but submitting to the Father's will meant he could not run from this moment. Luke 22:42, Jesus says, "Father, if it's your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." Listen to what the writer of Hebrews says in Hebrews 5:7 and 8, "Who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with vehement cries and tears to him who was able to save him from death, and was heard because of his godly fear. Though he was a son, yet he learned obedience by the things which he suffered. And in verse 9, it says, "It is because he chose to submit himself to the Father's will and obey that he became the source of eternal salvation to all those who obey him." The angel's presence with Jesus at that moment was a comfort, showing that his Father understood and heard his pleas and was not about to allow him to have the cup of indignation that he had to face to pass from him. He had to go through it. And why did he have to go through it? Because of you and I, so that we may have access to eternal life through his suffering, his death and resurrection. Like you and I, Jesus was given free will. He could have aborted the entire thing. He could have left and said, "These people aren't worth it." As a matter of fact, after he actually got up from this experience, he went back and he found his 3 disciples asleep. And he said to them, "Couldn't you have just stayed awake for a little while longer and helped me through this?" And shortly after this entire thing, Judas walks up with the Roman guards and takes Jesus by the shoulders and gives him a kiss on his cheek. And Jesus says to him, "You betray me with a kiss?" Look at the fickleness of humanity and the inconsistency of the human condition. Would you have gone through it for people like you and me? There's not a day that goes by that I don't need the support of the Most High God in my life. Jesus needed his Father with him to be able to help him go through this experience and experience the death of the lost. There was not going to be any hope for him. If Jesus stepped away, this planet would become a rogue planet, a planet that would be a representative of a living hell. No love, no light, no hope. You and I need to be eternally grateful for Jesus' reliance and submission to his Father's will. Always remember what the scriptures say: without the shedding of blood, there is no remission of sin. I beseech you, do not allow the sufferings of Jesus Christ be in vain for your soul. If you would like to have the assurance of salvation, repeat Romans 10 verse 9 with me now. I say with my mouth that Jesus is Lord, and I believe in my heart that God has raised him from the dead. And according to Romans 10 verse 9, you are saved. Remember, on the 15th and 30th of every month, a new video comes out on this channel, revealing the love of God through his Son, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, to you personally and to every other person on this planet. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share this with everyone. God bless you.